location. But also, remember what Janet tells him.
And don't get sucked into a time vortex. We won't be able to save you.
What's a time vortex? Well, I would imagine that a time vortex is how Kang's variants banished him to the quantum realm. After all, they are masters of time, and the quantum realm is key for time travel. So these time vortexes probably lead into this deep part of the quantum realm where Kang lives. So clearly, Janet did not want them to know about Kang. She also tells Scott to avoid the tardigrade field.
Make sure you stay out of the tardigrade field. They're cute, but they'll eat you.
As we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp, these are like one of the first things you encounter when you start to shrink into the quantum realm. So we talk about the quantum realm having levels. What we saw in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, was the deepest level, in the places with the time vortex, the tardigrades, those are all like closer to our actual size. And along those same lines, Victor Santos 6297 says, Janet not saying anything before it's too late. I get that she was upset about Kang, but was there any need to hide that? Look guys, I thought this made total sense for Janet. When people come home from war, they don't usually want to talk about it. Janet wanted to forget the life that she led down there. She didn't want her family to know that she was responsible for the rise of Kang, or that she killed people in the resistance. She had a very normal reaction for a person with trauma. And speaking of trauma, I very much appreciated the weight that they gave to these feelings these characters were having. Trauma is an incredibly normal thing in our everyday lives, and it can cause lack of sleep, anxiety, and depression. We've all had very low points in our lives, and therapy can help. Like, I lost someone very close to me a few years ago. I was super depressed. I hated life, and actually therapy helped me get through that. And maybe there's something in your life that's interfering with your own happiness. You might want therapy, but you're not sure where to get started. And that is where BetterHelp comes in. They're the sponsor of this video. BetterHelp listens to your ready and cautious in sending a signal down there. Also, I don't know why the people there blame her for everything Kang did. Well, for one thing, Janet was pretty clear. She told them don't explore the quantum realm, and they were going against her wishes. And I already explained why she didn't tell them about Kang. And I totally understand why the people in the quantum realm would blame her for Kang. She helped him get his power back. She also led a fight against him, and even says that some people call her a terrorist. It's implied that Janet was a troublemaker who did some really nasty things down in the quantum realm. Half the people probably hated her, and the other half hated her for abandoning the fight against Kang. Rodney Summers on Twitter asked, in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Janet had strange quantum abilities. Should anyone else develop these powers? How could she have developed them? Well, she developed the powers because she was in the quantum realm for so long.
I'm not the same woman I was 30 years ago, Henry.
I got the impression that Janet had like soaked in quantum energy and became kind of a quantum battery. She then used all her energy to stabilize Ghost, and that is why they were trying to get more quantum particles at the end of the movie. Now we know that Janet wants nothing to do with the quantum realm, so this makes sense. The only way she would ever want to revisit even a section of the quantum realm is to get more of these particles to help out Ghost. Although, now that we know that she was a freedom fighter in the quantum realm, maybe those powers were the result of some experiment she did on herself, trying to give herself a new weapon to use against Kang. Heck, maybe those powers developed because of her proximity to Kang's multiversal core. Invincible Heber on Twitter says, when Janet steals and expands Kang's core, she suits up as if she had a nanotech suit, which isn't a thing before Black Panther, or before Endgame or Infinity War, or anyone besides T'Challa and Tony. Her suit was supposed to be old-fashioned like the one shown in Ant-Man. Alright, so the comics always have this like weird thing where like when the Wasp shrinks, all of a sudden she gets wings. Fine.
I get emails from a raccoon, so nothing sounds crazy anymore.
So here's where we see nanotech in the movie. When like Scott and Hope are wearing other clothes, and then they're suddenly like in their suits without shrinking. That's nanotech. Just before Janet steals the core, she hits a button that makes her helmet come up like out of her collar. And that is tech that we saw used in the first Ant-Man movie. And when you watch this frame by frame, Janet is wearing her suit when she shrinks, implying that it was underneath her tunic. But the real question is, what happened to her tunic? Inertial Alex says, when Scott, Cassie, Hope, Hank, and Janet all arrived in the quantum realm, how did Krylar and Kang know they were there? Does Krylar and Kang have the same kind of tech? It's implied that they found out they were there because they have spies everywhere. And yes, Krylar does have Kang's actual tech. He arrives on one of Kang's ships. He surrendered to the Conqueror, and the Conqueror gave him the title of Lord. And here's one about the powers in the movie and how they work. Elusive Bunny asked, not really a plot hole, but I did not understand the suit powers. I thought they didn't have to be big to be strong, so what was the point of the jump tap? Well, in the first movie,